The whole Trump tariff narrative just made me reconsider a few things, and I've jumped across into crypto to see the reaction. And so far, the market has held surprisingly firmly on Bitcoin. But I was listening to some crypto bros the other day, and something really important came up for me, and I wanted to quickly communicate it out because I wasn't aware of this. I'm not a crypto bro, but I try and kind of keep up to date with it. Basically, people that work with, like brokers that work with crypto, actual crypto, they were talking about Bitcoin's a given. That's your gold equivalent in the digital world. That I'm convinced of. Use case is almost zero, but it's your digital store of value. No problem. So the next one, I always believed that ETH was the number two, that you would put your Bitcoin into ETH and then use it for transactions. I was wrong. I've been corrected on that. And this is what happened. So I was listening to the people that actually work in the crypto industry, and they were like, well, we're seeing developers who were working in the ETH space, they are all moving or have moved already to the Solana space. And they said it's just like any business, it's about the cost. And the cost of transactions on Solana is fractions of a penny. Costs on ETH are multiple dollars. So they said, yes, ETH could fix that. Yes, ETH could, but coulds coulds are worthless. The current cost base to run on ETH is too high. So all these developers, they're doing all their projects on Solana. There's obviously a few left on ETH, and it's whatever. But and then so whether your argument is for ETH or not is worthless, because if you look at the price of Solana, that's the truth. And the truth is that Solana is outperforming ETH. Therefore, there's no point arguing when the numbers show that Solana is number two. Bitcoin number one, Solana number two. And then I'm quite close to thinking that XRP is going to be number three. Because whoever is managing ETH, they're just dropping the ball. And whether it's coming in the future, this and the other, it won't matter if something's improving by 1% a day. In a year's time, it's impossible for you to catch up, because it'll be the ecosystem around Solana and XRP will be too far ahead for you to suddenly switch to ETH. So I've just got a chart just demonstrating what I'm rattling on about. So let's just quickly look at that. So what I've done here is I've put Bitcoin as the kind of base chart, and then we've put on ETH, Solana, and XRP. So since this date, sometime around October 2023, when they were all together, you've got Solana having significantly outperformed. And I understand it got slaughtered during FTX and et cetera, but it has outperformed. Next is the XRP. So my narrative there is that Solana is outperforming ETH. And on this basis, for the last year and a half, doesn't matter what you think or what you say, it is true. Because here's the chart of the price. And Solana is higher. Then is XRP, then is Bitcoin. This is all based off this point. So, I'm not saying Solana's worth more than Bitcoin or XRP is worth more than Bitcoin. Just relative performance. For the last year and a half, Solana number one, XRP number two, Bitcoin, and then ETH is doing terribly down here. So I know nothing. I'm not a crypto bro. I literally hang on to the edges. But the market is telling me that ETH is not the one. So I'm going to make sure when I deploy capital into crypto, it is hitting Solana, XRP, and Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin for me is because of its market cap is above the other two, but definitely I will be preferencing Solana over ETH after having read this narrative and seeing it. The proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is the chart of the price. So if you weren't aware of all that, because I know a lot of people bang on about ETH, well, they're losing out to Solana. That's my narrative, and it's proven in the valuation, as in its relative performance over the last year and a half. So I'm realigning my ducks. I'm just going to slightly scroll this chart. Okay, so I've just gone in slightly. So now with December to the beginning of 2024, here's your Solana, here's your Bitcoin. So it went up, it's come down a bit, and here's your XRP. So again, they're outperforming. And here's your ETH down here. But the market is speaking, and you've got to read the tea leaves. To me, it's very, very clear what's happening here. And this is not advice at all, because I literally know less than nothing about crypto. But I'm dumping my ETH for XRP, Solana, and Bitcoin. And it's just the argument I've heard. Basically, it's the cost of doing business on Solana and XRP is so much less than ETH, and I've managed to get confirmation bias that this is true. And the interesting part for XRP was this point here, where it was down and out because they were trying to kill it in the SEC in the US, and then it got out of that neck hold, got out of its choke. And it like almost overnight found its proper level because they suddenly realized that yes, it could replace the SWIFT payment network, and that has given it value. And you got to just remember, it's not its its use value that is reflected here in the price. So I think I've made quite a strong argument there. Basically, I've realized I couldn't make sense of why ETH was underperforming, why it was just going down. I couldn't make sense of it. And watching these crypto guys, for them it was as clear as day. Why? And now I can see exactly why. I hope that's really useful to you. Just something to think about. Not at all advice, because I literally know less than nothing. But that rhetoric makes sense to me. So best of luck. That's it.